In studio now, we are blessed with James Underwood and Chelsea from Thurston High School. Thanks for weathering the elements, James.
Thanks for having us.
Coming out here. Ann and Chelsea, you guys seniors?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so ready for college?
Yep.
Yeah?
For the most part, yeah.
Anna, where are you going?
I'm probably going to be at George Fox.
Ooh, nice.
And I might be at George Fox or Western Oregon University, so.
It depends on...
Yeah, it just...
It
different
depends.
Elements, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
A couple of things have to fall into place.
What in particular, what are you looking at, maybe career-wise?
I'm looking at early childhood education.
And you?
I'm really interested in medical administration or physical therapy kind of stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Administration or physical therapy?
Yeah.
You want to run things or be ran?
I guess so.
Okay.
That's cool, though, helping out. And James, what do you teach?
I actually teach kind of a potpourri of classes at Thurston High School. I teach freshman history. I also teach the leadership class. But why we're here today is I teach a class called Peer Group, which is our community service class we offer at Thurston High School.
Talk about that. What is that?
Peer Group, it's neat because, every school has like an ASB, a leadership. That's the group that puts on dances, pep assemblies, kind of your traditional leadership group you think of with students at a high school. But Peer Group is a group, it's an idea we stole from South Eugene, so I want to give them credit, but it's specifically community service. So every student that's in that class, they're charged with the idea of making our school or our community a better place. And from there, they get to create their own project.
Now, is this a required class? Because there are some schools that require that you do a certain amount of community service before you graduate. So is this something that the kids are doing because they want to, or is this they're doing it because they have to?
Well, unfortunately, with budget cuts, we only offer one, so it's not required. I wish it was, though, because I think the experience that the kids walk away from it's indelible. But we do have a set amount of community service. If students can graduate with 100 hours of community service, they get what they call an honors diploma at Thurston High School. So certainly being a part of this class is an easy route to getting that honors diploma.
And that would look good if you were, applying for a school, or just to have that
like
on your
George
record.
Fox.
Awesome.
Which is why I have these two amazing ladies here with us today.
And Chelsea, he's talking about the experiences for the students. What kind of experiences? Maybe talk about the charity that you've helped out or your cause and how it's changed your heart.
Yeah, or at least describe Community 101 and what the program is.
Okay, so Community 101 is a program that's funded by PGE Foundation and Oregon Community Foundation, and they give students $5,000 to grant to nonprofits that they choose. So when we did it, we got to research different nonprofits and pick which issues we thought were most pressing in our community. So it's a lot of learning how to run things and communicate with different foundations and nonprofits and stuff.
As part of that, did you actually look at, for instance, how much goes towards the actual charity and how much goes to administrative costs? How deeply did you get into looking at the charities?
When the charities came and talked to us, we interviewed them, and we also went and did site visits, and we were very detailed with the work we did, and the money that we granted towards the foundations was money to a specific cause. So for Eugene Mission, for instance, we donated it directly towards the women part of Eugene Mission, and so we knew exactly where all of our money was going.
Which organization impressed you, either what they do with their resources, their limited resources, or the need as far as, we need more to be able to allow them to do more because the need is so great?
Several of the foster care places, in my opinion, were ones that really stuck out to me and were in need of those resources that we could provide because of the lack of resources they have now. And so it was really cool being able to donate several $1,000s to them. So,
how long did you spend on this particular process?
It was basically the whole year of class, so 9 months.
Really? That long? So you actually took quite a bit of time. How many different charities or foundations or groups did you look at overall? How many do you think you took a look at?
We looked at probably about 9, and then we chose about 6-ish different ones and decided how to disperse the money.
Did you just go looking for them, or did you send out some sort of notification so that they would come to you?
Well, we researched in our class the issues that we thought were most pressing, like homelessness or foster care, and then we researched the different nonprofits in our community and chose them, and then contacted them if they would want us to continue looking into them to get.
What kind of response did you get most times when you reached out to them?
I think everyone we contacted was interested, and then we had them come in for like an interview process. So, yeah.
Interesting. James, how many people are how many kids in the class?
38. We used to have 2 classes of about 35, and so it's shrunk down. So now we have 1 class of 38, and so it's available for sophomores through seniors. So there's an application process to get in because it's pretty competitive. But if I didn't have to turn students away, I wouldn't. Because
how many do you turn away?
Well, in any given year, we have students apply. We probably have about 70 apply for the program. And so then, of course, there's a lot more that would like to be in it, but, some kids are involved in choir or, the student newspaper or student government. So it matters, it depends on if it works with their schedule, I guess. But we probably have about 70 that apply, and we end up taking about 35 to 40 each year.
What do you notice about this? Since you talk about the 2 previous classes of 35, there's your 70 right there. Now it's a little bit more concentrated of people that you talk about the application. It's more intense maybe in the passion and the desire to be there. What have you noticed since it's been reduced to 1 class of 38?
Well, as the program's gone along, I've now been blessed to have it for 4 years on my teaching schedule. And I always say it's the best 70 minutes of my day. We have 70-minute periods at Thurston High School, and it is just so neat because we don't tell the students what they have to do for their project, so they are given total freedom as far as creating a project. So we've got a couple different projects. We have a green team, and they're trying to make Thurston more green. We have an assault prevention group that collaborates with Women's Space, a nonprofit, which we actually learned about through Community 101, and they go into freshman health classes and talk about healthy versus unhealthy relationships. That message is a lot more meaningful coming from their peers, than from an adult.
Wait, so you're talking about people not from Women's Space, but from Thurston High School going into other classes.
They're actually trained by advocates and volunteers from Women's Space, and then they go into the freshman health classes and talk to their younger peers about healthy versus unhealthy relationships. And that dynamic's really changed, especially with media, especially with things like Facebook, especially with things like texting. The dynamics of a healthy versus unhealthy relationship has really changed in the last 5 to 10 years. And so that message coming from their own peers is huge. And those are just a couple of. We also have another group. We have a safe driving group that collaborates with State Farm. Mitch Hannon, a local agent, stepped forward after we had a student at Thurston High School that was killed in a car accident, and said, what can we do to prevent this from happening? And so it's really neat because these students, they get that message out there that put that cell phone away when you're driving, avoid the distractions. There's a reason why we have the 6-month rule. And again, that message is so much more powerful coming from their peers than from their parents or from a teacher.
Because we're just lecturing.
Exactly. And as great a relationship as I have with the students, it's exactly the same thing with me. So I can become a broken record too. So we have about 9 different committees and peer group, all with, like I said, with all charged with the idea of making their community a better place.
What a cool idea. You talk about you ripped off the idea from South Eugene.
Where did they rip it off from?
That is a great
have other schools reached out and wanted to inquire how they could get it into their schools? And if not, if somebody's listening that thinks, hey, this is a great idea, what would be the first step?
Well, if you get on THS Cult Space, you can just look up under staff members James Underwood. And we, teachers, I always say, are the best thieves ever. We steal ideas from each other. So if I ever see
behind radio folk, we're number one.
Really?
We're top.
Yeah.
And we saw that idea from South Eugene around 2005, 2006, and we said we've got to have that because you're enabling students to just do so many cool things in our community. So I actually would be really interested to hear where South Eugene got it from. But we have had a lot of schools actually when we go to like student leadership conferences that have asked, and we have a group called Random Acts of Kindness, and we just put on a kindness week where our students gave out free hot chocolate, they made nice buttons, they decorated teachers' classrooms, and we were actually talking with Sheldon and South Eugene, and they said we want to steal. So it's cool because now South Eugene's saying we want to steal that idea back from you. So it's pretty cool that we're giving each other ideas on how to make our community a better place.
I'm curious what it was that as you were going through the different organizations, you're interviewing them, you're doing site checks and the like. Was there anything that either of you, Anna or Chelsea, that you discovered that you kind of went, I would not have thought that I would see that, or something that you learned about the inner workings of some of these charities that you never even had given a thought to? Dun, dun, dun.
I think the biggest thing is I was really passionate towards foster care, especially when we were doing the process. And
just how many kids are affected by foster care, whether it's for 6 months or for their whole time they're a minor. And so, and just how limited resources those charities for foster care have and or don't have, I guess. And so that was one of the biggest things. I was like, wow, and so just being able to help and give them some of those resources they wouldn't otherwise be able to do without our help was really.
Did you have any interaction with CASA?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
And we donated money to them as well.
What about you, Anna?
Something that stuck out to me was we researched a lot on homelessness, and we helped out the Eugene Mission with buying beds and some stuff like that, and just realizing that there's a lot of people that have the desire to help, but helping them get the resources to reach the amount of people they want to was something that I thought was really really cool that I was a part of.
What was your contact with the mission? Did you guys go down there and actually meet people? Yeah, it's amazing because I've donated to the mission but never been down there. I have a friend of the show here, James Doherty, who goes down there once a month and just has a great time. Talks gospel, sings music, and I think until you go down there, it's that group over there. It's that area until you kind of internalize it.
And for me, it was really cool because my freshman and sophomore year, my church went once a month. We would go and we would help out at the mission in the kids and women section. So being able to have the opportunity to talk to the director of Eugene Mission and he was a really awesome guy, really nice, and it was really cool.
How many kids are there right now? At the mission? Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But I mean, when you would go there with the church group, did you see, a couple, or is there?
It kind of varied, but sometimes there was probably 5 to 12 kids and their moms.
So a lot.
Yeah.
More than there should be.
One thing we learned about through this process, which was really neat, was when we talked about homelessness, we talked about what does it mean to be homeless, especially as a teen. And I think sometimes teens, on some of the reflections that they wrote afterwards, is you get this idea of somebody living under a bridge. Well, we have teens at Thurston High School and in the Springfield district in Eugene, is that it means that they don't have they don't know every day at 3 o'clock when school gets out, it's a roll of the dice where they're sleeping. They might be sleeping at a friend's house, they might be sleeping maybe at an aunt's house for a week, but that was really neat when we went through that process, because the whole idea of Community 101 is to create that awareness within our community. And so when we say things like St. Vincent de Paul, when we say the Eugene Mission, the students can say, I've been there and I know what services they offer, which is awesome. A family for every child. A lot of students will say, oh, I've seen those pictures around town. I never realized what those pictures were actually for. So it's pretty neat because now the students are empowered with the knowledge. When somebody says women's space, they know exactly what services they offer in our community.
Anna, Chelsea, what have you noticed? What could you say, if any, there's been a change on the campus after Community 101, where you've got people going, peers, other students going into other classes, and maybe the awareness, like James talks about, kind of maybe growing out of that classroom of 38 people and kind of affecting other people. Have you seen a change at Thurston?
Last week we had our Safe Driving Week, and we had a really powerful mock funeral, as well as the mother of the girl who died the year before we were going into high school, and that was really powerful. And I'm pretty sure not a dry eye left the auditorium after the presentations because of how moving it is, and how it's as simple as putting your phone away, not changing CDs when you're driving. And so many kids do that just as their regular things they do when they drive, and it's just the most important thing not to do that. And so for me, it's just so powerful seeing my peers trying to reach us that way and being able to reach us that way. And they know firsthand how dangerous it is, and just teaching us
the people that walk around that look like they're too cool for school, and maybe it's not affecting them. It is affecting them, because we've talked about people that it's the seed is planted, and even though they might not embrace it, they're getting the information, and that's what's important for you guys.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What a great! I'm very impressed. James, you talked about a website for teachers. Anybody in the community that just kind of maybe even wants to help and offer a charity maybe for future consideration, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, you can actually find us on Facebook. If you look up Thurston High School Peer Group, you can actually find our site there. But then if you just get on the www.thscoltspace, there's a whole array of options as far as getting a hold of staff members, contacting an administrator, as far as letting them know that these type of programs, even in the wake of budget cuts, these type of programs I think are huge for students to be able to be a part of.
Off the email, Frank, one of our 15, says, for their service to our town, please say thank you. So
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
You're making some students out there, I'm sure, change their lives. But there are we have 15 listeners, and a couple of them are probably driving to work right now going, maybe I could get more involved in the community. So thank you again. Yeah, from us and
Yes, thank you
everybody. It's beautiful. James, keep in touch, man.
Hey, we appreciate it.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you back.
All right. Well, like I said, this has been a great experience, and I'll tell you what, this is the best 70 minutes of my day working with these students because these students just love what they're doing. And we got 2 students right here that, because of their work within, they're just awesome no matter what, but their work within peer group and the Community 101 program, Chelsea actually just got a scholarship because of it. She just wrote about it in a scholarship essay, and so she just was awarded a scholarship a couple weeks ago for it.
Yeah, and I get to give money back to Community 101 at Thurston High School. So it's super cool experience.
That's got to be a great feeling.
Yeah, it is.
So cool. And Chelsea, class of 2011, right?
Yep.
Go Colts. James, thanks again. Community 101 in with the wake-up call on 1120 KPNW at 7:55.